All right, cool. So we're going to talk about how to handle when market is in a downtrend, how to trade when market is in a downtrend, and what we need to do in order to make sure we can still perform and put down some profitable trades, inshallah. Okay. One thing that's going to go ahead and be really, really huge here is going to be identifying areas of support. Okay. Identifying areas of support is going to be crucial for knowing when price wants to head in a downwards trend. Okay. The best time frames I like to go ahead and use when it comes to identifying my setups, the market structure, etc. The daily, and then the 4-hour time frame. Okay. The reason why we're using the daily and the 4-hour time frame is because the daily just gives us the overall broad view picture of absolutely everything. Okay. And then we use the 4-hour time frame. And in case you guys don't have it on, right click your screen, go ahead and go settings. I believe you do have it on, if I'm not mistaken though, sir. And then, cool, so I'm on SPX right now, so it's not gonna show here, it says 24/7. But if you're on a stock, then you guys might see right here, electronic trading hours. If it's on regular, change it to extended. That's why we're on the 4-hour. Check this box out right here for the 4-hour wick at the very, very top. If I go on the daily, this wick is not existent. Okay. So that's why we use the 4-hour time frame, because the extended trading hours could sometimes be hiding certain candlesticks that we need to see, certain take profits, entries, exits, and stuff like that. Okay. So when we're using our 4-hour time frame after analyzing the daily, we're going to be able to get the full broad view picture of everything that's going on. And it's going to be just a lot easier to perform this way. Okay. So boom. So start off on your daily time frame. Okay. And when I'm analyzing if market is in a downtrend, what I'm going to be looking for is price making lower highs. Okay. So when I'm analyzing an uptrend here, I can clearly see that price is heading in an upwards direction. Okay. Staring up. Okay, we had some heavy sweeps there, but overall, still ending up in a bullish uptrend. Okay. So now, how I like to short in certain scenarios is going to depend on certain market structure. Okay. So say right here, I clearly see price is trying to, say price is trying to meet this resistance here. Okay. So this is people just farming the uptrend. Now, when I'm looking to short the market, I'm ideally going to be looking for a strong area of support, and ideally it's going to be on my 4-hour time frame. Okay. So markets is going to hit all-time highs. It's not going to be always times we're going to be able to continuously long. Okay. Nvidia had a gap up into new highs and stuff like that, but you don't really ideally know how high it wants to go up because there's no resistances clearly made. Okay, it's just kind of just moving. Okay, and we can really just try to do our best here. We kind of had some break and retest based off of this resistance here, but now say ideally for Nvidia, if I wanted to short Nvidia, all I would do, I could see that price already wanted to break and retest from the support right here. So if I wanted to, ideally, I could just wait for this area of support to go ahead and be broken. Okay. So this area of support was already created right here. Price decided to go ahead and retest and bounce heavily off of here. If this area of support gets broken, I believe that price will try and meet and match with this area of support down here. Inshallah, if God wills. Okay. And if not that, then at least match with an area of resistance like up here. Okay. And then another reason too, or another way to short accurately, you can wait for closes too. You can wait for certain things like certain time frame closes that you want to see, right? Like if you wanted a 1-hour close underneath this blue box, then you can wait for that and see if price wants to reject back up or if it really wants to stay underneath here. And then, I could see price, inshallah, God wills, just dumping all the way down, from there. So use your daily to get the broad view of everything. Okay. Then you're going to use your 4-hour to find the support zones. Okay. After you found the support zones are going to be, once again, the areas of buying where price is making a V and heading in an upwards direction. Okay. So once you find the support zones here, then I want you to go to your 1-hour time frame, and you could wait for this after you plan a nice trade out. Boom, you could wait for price to break the blue box if you want, and you could wait for a 1-hour close, or you could do a 15-minute close as well too. That would be pretty strong. So yeah, I recommend a 15-minute or 1-hour close after you found your 4-hour support level, and that's going to be one of the strongest ways to short. So I'm going to go through another example here. So once again, market's not always just going to be going in an uptrend. Okay, so I'm just want to prepare you for every single scenario here. Okay, so right here, say right here, for instance, AMD, we definitely are kind of heading in a bullish sense here, definitely trying to go in an uptrend. But say right here, I really do have some clean support right here, right there. So if I were to get on my 4-hour time frame here, I can clearly see everything. And honestly, this support got broken. I think I might see this is at 133. And then I'm just going to go ahead and line my take profit up with another area of support. Okay. Especially with single wicks like that. If price breaks support, ideally, I think price would want to hit this area again and then potentially try and bounce back up. Okay. Boom. Okay. So I'm just looking for support areas on my 4-hour. And then after that, I can go my 15-minute, wait for the breakout to occur. And then I could just wait for a close, ideally too. And then you should be able to just take it down to the other strong support level. Okay. And remember, you're only using the 15-minute and the 1-hour for closes. Okay. And what a close is price to the far right here is going to go ahead and have a clock. Okay. Price is going to have a clock, and you can clearly see on whatever time frame you're on, whether the daily, 4-hour, 1-hour, 15-minute, you're going to see to the far right the clock moving. The clock moving is going to show you the amount of time until the next candlestick opens. Okay. So everything moved to the left. These candlesticks will never move again, ever in history. They'll never move again, ever. But what's happening right now, this is the current candlestick happening right now. Okay, so it's just continuous data, continuous moving, and yeah, okay. So that is how I like to plan for downtrends. Okay, market's not always going to be in an uptrend. There's going to be some times where you can catch some clean support breaks and go ahead and catch a nice short setup. Okay. So let me go ahead and just check my watch list here. Okay, because I know market had a pretty bearish day today. Okay. So I didn't see any shorts here. Wells Fargo. You know, this area of support all the way up here decided to get broken and meet up with this area right here. Let me see on the 15-minute. 15-minute, end up getting a close and then a retested and then straight down. So yeah, 15-minute close is really good. Yeah, it's really going to help you a lot, and really just make sure your trade is definitive and you're not getting faked out. Okay, so that was Wells Fargo. As you can see, support area here on the daily. And then price fell down, boom, shorted, and yeah, very easy. People went ahead and just caught that. And it gave a nice close, and 9:30. boom, and then heading downward and filled. Okay. Let me go ahead and go back to my daily. Let me go ahead and find another example here. So I have this stock here, PR. Okay. I think we might get a retest like somewhere down here, inshallah. Okay. And then price will try and bounce back up and staircase. But right now it's coming downward. So let me go to my 4-hour time frame. Okay. And if I don't see clean areas of support, I'm really just cool. Okay. So here's kind of one right here. So this one right here kind of created some good support here. So we'll see if price wants to go ahead and break this. And if it does, then we'll know price might want to go ahead and continue in a lower formation. Okay. So supports are going to be the thing. It's, it's called support for a reason. Support is the area where price is holding support. And if supports get broken, then the whole building is going to fall down. Okay. Go ahead and find another example here. GIS. So this is also a good example of a consistent downtrend too. So price is heading in a downward staircase. Okay, price is going up and then down, up and then down, up and then down. This is price making lower highs. Okay. So whenever price is heading in a downward staircase, do not try too long. Please, when you see price heading in a downward staircase, do not try too long. Your price action should be looking like this. When you see price heading in a downward staircase, do not try too long. When you see price heading in an upward staircase, then you can long. But if you see price heading in a downward staircase, please do not long. Okay, it's just going to turn into desperation. You might even make mistakes. Some people like to add to certain losers and just destroy everything. Okay, so Tesla here. Get on my 4-hour. Okay. Tesla here. Nothing really too clean. And if it's not clean and obvious, you just don't take it. It should be looking very clean for your taking. And if it's just not like that, then you're cool. We're not desperate for trades here. Same thing with Comcast here. This was kind of clean. Right here. This area of support right here. And I want you to see something too. This is also really cool. So the options market opens at 9:30. Okay. So right here, market came right as soon as it broke out, retested, gave it entry right when the market opened, and then trickled downward. Okay. And then guess what? Right when market opened again, boom, price decided to bounce from right here. Okay. So market open is going to be really useful, especially for stocks. Stocks, you're going to be able to eyeball a lot when it comes to market open and seeing the times at the very bottom of your screen. Okay. So this is a clear uptrend, SE, the stock right here. Okay. But I see price made a clear support right here. Okay. Let me go to my 4-hour, make sure it looks good. Cool. So I see the support right here. Cool. So I know that if this support gets broken, price, inshallah, if God wills, might want to meet this support down here. Okay, if I get a 15-minute close underneath this box, then if I get a 15-minute close underneath this box, then I believe that price will want to go ahead and trickle down to down here. Okay, or at least this one. Yeah, or at least this support right here. And the thing that's going to really save you a lot with breakouts is going to be your closes. Okay, so here with SE, this would have been easy here. this would have just been like a trend line entry, you know. So as soon as price decided to go ahead and break above this trend line here, boom, you could either wait for a 4-hour close if you want, or you could just enter right away. And either way, you just sit 1 day of drawdown, 2, 3, and then boom, back onto the profit. And then probably tomorrow you'd hit take profit. So this is what we buy at least 2 weeks out, or at least a month out. And we'll talk about contracts in the next section. We'll talk about that, but pretty much the contracts do have expiration dates. So you could just wait for price to go ahead and just hit your take profit, just wait for some, buy weeks out and just wait for some days. And especially if you know market direction, it'll be right. Okay. So that's this for a bullish scenario. Now below it, price made some support. Okay. Price did make support right here too. Okay. So if I wanted to, even if I want to take it down here, okay. Once again, if price were to close on the 15-minute underneath the support, then I believe it would want to go ahead and dump down all the way down here, okay, to this support right here. Okay. CMG here. I have a pretty good setup getting lined up here. So let's talk about this. Resistance got made all the way up here. So if I want to long this, what I would do is get my trend line, make sure I draw it decent, boom. Okay, when I draw my trend line, I'm making sure the points line up. Okay, points. Okay, the 2 points are lining up with the trend line here, okay? So that's just how I long. Okay, longing is extremely easy. But scratch that. If I were to short, say this area of support right here, price gave me a 15-minute close underneath the blue box, retested once, retested twice, and then decided to go ahead and trickle down, and inshallah, we're trying to go ahead and fill this area of support down here. Okay, so it's gonna go ahead and be that. But then if I wanted to long, I would go ahead and just draw it like this. Boom. So now when price gets above the yellow box, then I'm gonna be able to go ahead and take these two take profits up here. Okay, so we got resistance up here, resistance here, we got support right here. Okay, the support got broken, retested, and we're heading down to the support down here, you know? So this is how I prepare just for both sides. Check out solve right here. This support isn't the cleanest in the world, so I'm really cool off of that. Once again, if it's not super duper clean support, I'm just cool. You know, it has to be looking good, it has to be looking clean. Otherwise, I'm just not gonna take it at all. Airbnb here. This could be area of support right here. I see a reaction right here, and then also hunted it again. So when you see 2 taps of supports, that's really good. If that area gets broken, like if you see 2 recent taps and price hasn't been underneath it since, if that gets broken, you might see like a heavy dump. So yeah, and then here, you see price wants to go ahead and just break underneath this trend line here and go ahead and fill. Okay. So this is also going to be another clean way too, is find an area of support, draw it diagonally, and then, you know, if you start getting So you can either find a retest off of that or just cleanly just eyeball the support. And eyeballing the support is most of the time going to be cleanest. So right here, MBLY, okay? This is the area of support right here that's looking to get met. So if I just draw my trend line like that, I can see price is underneath it. So I do believe that price might want to go ahead and fill in the gap now underneath here, okay? So instead of drawing it like this for a long on the resistances, you could draw it like this up for the supports and then go ahead and catch the downtrend fill. Okay, so let me go ahead and do one more example here. Cart, okay. Let me see if I just like right here with cart, if I saw price to get underneath this trend line, then I know price, inshallah, would want to go ahead and fill right here. Okay, so support trend line breaks are going to be extremely useful as well too. Let me go ahead and let me draw like this. Same thing with this one right here. Draw this box right here. If I saw price break this trend line and price didn't hold it, then I do believe price would want to go ahead and dump down. Okay. And then the opposite spectrum of that is going to be the resistance break one. Okay. So now we're waiting for price to get above it on the resistance sense. Okay. And then fill in the gap. All right. So I'm going to do another example here. SMCI. Okay. If I saw price break this trend line, I do believe we would want to go ahead and short down here. Okay. Also draw it off 2 points like that. The more points you have it off of, the better, honestly, too. So if you keep the trend line like this, if I see price break the trend line, we're definitely going to go try and fill this area. Okay. Palantir here. So we went over this. Resistance fills, resistance fills, resistance fills. Oh, this one got filled too. So this up here, resistance fill. Okay. You know, resistance fills are easy, but we're talking about downtrends this video. Okay. So here, if I wanted to put it off of these 2 points, okay, I could either do it like that, or I could just do it off of this 1 point here. Yeah, just do it off one, and then boom. If price were to go ahead and break the trend line, then inshallah, I know price would want to try and fill this area and try and buy right here. Okay. So all I'm doing is just drawing it diagonally off of supports. So just like I draw it diagonally off of resistances, this time it's just off of supports. Okay, so check this out right here too. Say like this area of support. Okay. So price right here. It's kind of a decent example too. Make sure I have it on 2 points. Boom, okay. All right, have it on these 2 support points right here. 1, and then 2, okay. On 2 support points, price decided to go ahead and break underneath the trend line. You can wait for a 15-minute close if you want, but up to you. Well, price decided to break underneath the trend line, boom. And then a couple of days later, we filled in the support gap, okay? So, yep, that's gonna go ahead and be that. Let's see, even if I like, yes, in this sense, it wouldn't work, but something like this would have worked off of a recent support like this one. As soon as it got broken, straight to take profit. Go ahead and drag this down here. And we got to retest off of it and then straight down. Yeah, so let me go ahead and do another example here. So we got Pfizer, good example here, starting to dump. Okay, and then here with Pfizer, this trend line here. Kind of want it off the points as much as possible. Okay, and if I see price break this trend line, then inshallah I know price will want to go ahead and try and fill this support right here. Okay, and then vice versa, I could also draw the resistance trend line like this. Okay, I could either draw it like that or draw like this. Okay, so boom. And here's like that X is how you prepare for both sides of the market. Okay, so on either side, you're ready to play whatever happens, you're ready. Okay. So yeah, we're just drawing our trend lines, waiting for price to be reactive. And let me go ahead and draw this one a little better off these 2 points. There we go. You can do it like this. Go ahead and do it like that. Off of those 2 points there, trend line got broken. And I do believe we want to go ahead and fill the support all the way down here, inshallah. Okay. Either that or we'll go ahead and we'll try and fill this area here first. Okay, straight down. Okay, but ideally, take profit would be down here. So let me do another example here. So here we go. We got Wells Fargo. I'm gonna just draw my trend line diagonally off the support, just like this. Okay, best I can get it off the points. If you're also struggling too, you believe you can hold control right on the entry and then kind of just, yeah, draw it diagonally like that. That's how you'll get exact points, boom. And then I know if this trend line gets broken, inshallah, I'll go ahead and I'll try and gap fill the support right here. Okay. Let me drag it down just a tad bit. Grab it. There we go. Cool. Okay. And then I know if price breaks the trend line, definitely bearish, and go ahead and catch the rest of the dump down, inshallah. Okay. But if I'm bullish, I could do this, get my trend line, draw it like this diagonally too, and then go ahead and catch the uptrend for the rest of this little gap fill up here. Okay. So yeah, that's gonna go ahead and be that. So just preparing for both sides is just absolutely just crucial. You don't need a million different setups. You could really just keep coming to the same stock, just waiting for certain setups to just keep playing out, or just have a watch list of stock that you like to look at per week. You could reset it, just have some lookers that you're waiting for, do a bunch of setups that you like, and just keep resetting every month, every week. And yeah, so Yeah, it's really just about progressing our mindset and really just learning how to adapt. Adaptability is going to be the big factor between people who are profitable and unprofitable. Um, Once again, market is not always going to work within the same way all the time. It's not always going to do the same thing. It's not always going to be the same conditions. So just really knowing how we can prepare and play both sides, it's going to be really, really important to our success here. Once again, you can also hold control on your entry point too to get the exact point of the entry. You can go ahead and lock both the trend lines. You should see like a little X in the middle. And if price breaks the downside, here we go. If price breaks the upside, here you go. Okay. So you're prepared for either side. You're not really guessing anything. You're just waiting for your trades to work out, waiting for profitability to come to you. Okay. And then I also see that price wants to come on this area here too. Okay. Yeah. Honest, at first you definitely can do that. Yeah, to build patience. Yeah. Once you start getting more used to it, then you can play like more, like have like three stocks going at once. But ideally, yeah, you could just wait for these setups to happen because it's gonna build that patience. And you could keep stacking your bread in real life. You're not gonna be losing bread taking any other setups, and you're just gonna be waiting for your setup. And so just keep running up your business bread, keep doing whatever we need to be doing. And then when the setup does come, boom, deploy, deposit, boom, and then win, inshallah. And then just keep doing it like that. Yes. Yes. So yes, exactly. Yep. And then we're gonna go ahead and go over contracts the next session as well too. But before I wanted to go over contracts, I had to tell you about shorting too, because contracts they have two parts to them. They have calls and then they have puts. Okay, so we'll just get in. I'll tell you this now. So calls means that price is going to go in an upwards direction, and puts means that price is going to go in a downwards direction. So that's the prediction. So that's why I had to just tell you about downside trading too. Okay, so yeah, so I have my X made here. Just gonna wait for the trade to happen. Whatever happens, happens. Boom. If this breaks, if that breaks, cool. Go ahead and deploy some funds, catch the trade, inshallah. And yeah, so it's just about not making it too difficult. So